Hello, internet. New day, new tears, new crazy hair. um, or I don't know, not crazy, whatever. How do we feel about the word crazy these days? That's not what I'm here to talk about. Hello, friends and strangers. My name is Alaya. This is Vili. I started listening to Casey Tanner's Feel It All yesterday, and I've already had a bunch of feelings yesterday, and um and I continued listening today. I stopped listening yesterday when I started feeling when like at the point where they started to talk about attachment, because it made me cry. And I've been listening to this chapter on attachment and insecure attachment, and it is by far not the first time that I'm like, I don't know, like thinking about attachment. Not at all. Like, actually, I had a I had a very intense phase thinking about my attachment style, but it's been a while since I've like kind of applied that lens, or especially kind of in the context of yeah, I didn't have that many romantic sexual contexts where, like, it's not like this is, and it's not like those are the only relationships attachment stuff comes up, but and like I'm always like working through attachment stuff in my relationships, in my platonic relationships and friendships and stuff. But yeah, I'm I'm just listening to this chapter where Casey describes ways in which, I don't know, avoidance strategies might show up, or like avoidant attachment might show up in like strategies, and I'm just ticking all of the boxes, and it's really, or like not all of them, but like, yeah, I don't know, it's really hard to listen to, or like in a way it's very like, it is okay. I'm just noticing I'm annoyed by the echo of my radiator. I hope this helps. I just put some dish towel on it. It is okay. It did not help. It is hard to listen to, and there's also a very, yeah, it's like, ooh, it's the pain of someone putting their finger, where it hurts. Or just yeah, also how deep this sits, and how, like, I've been actively, like, I feel like I've been actively and intentionally working through all of this for at least 4 years, and I've like, and I feel like I feel like it makes sense to think of the last 4 years as a different stage of working through my stuff, because before then I was still very much dependent on stuff like alcohol and my eating disorder to like help me numb my way, or like as kind of like strategies to avoid all of that. So I feel like it makes sense to think about the last 4 years as like a different, yeah, phase or stage of the process of individuation. I really recommend this book. I'm not sure if I said that in yesterday's video, but it does bear repeating. Not least because I don't fault you for not watching my video. I mean, not like I will never fault anyone for not watching my videos. That's not what this is about. But this is a very strange format. And I like it. I've always liked this. There's a mirror. But yeah. Everybody's so hurt. Everybody just hurt little children. Everybody just hurt little children in adult bodies with much more power and many more ways to hurt each other unintentionally. And sometimes most of the time I feel very optimistic about things getting better and more people seeking out like healing and just really taking accountability for the relationship to themselves and the way that they are in relationship with the world and everything. And yeah, and I don't know, I still think that's true, but I don't know, and like I'm even worried talking about how I have doubts about that, and I'm not sure, like that's not helpful. I don't really know. Nobody knows. There's no way to know. I mean, there probably are ways to measure things and stuff, but like what does knowing, like just because I can measure something, I know I very much I'm a fan of science, and yet I don't think that it is, like in a lot of ways it is a very, very flawed tool to talk about, like I think, yeah, okay. Well, how did this get into a tangent about science? I don't know. I think there's something in my head about, I was listening to the news this morning and it was about how, or like there was a point at which they talked about how the rate of young people being suspended from school because of violent behavior has been rising in the last couple of years. And that, I don't know, like, I think that stuck with me. That did something. like, and that's what I think that's what I was thinking about when I was just talking about like science, because we can measure or like we can observe certain phenomena, but we're so quick to or like even if that even if in that news item they weren't talking about causes or anything like that. I don't think they were relating it to any cause, but that's immediately like, I'm like, why is it happening, you know? Like, why is this a thing? Or not, or even if I'm not thinking about a specific like, even if I'm not thinking of it causally, it is immediately like a value judgment that this is a bad thing. I mean, like violence, I guess, like, but it's all about the frame. Like, that's why, like, that's why, sorry, because like, this is like, I guess there would be ways to frame this differently, you know? Like, if we looked at, instead of looking at numbers, and like, why are we looking at those numbers? Why is that something that's important? Why are we clumping these situations together? What, and like, I don't know anything about the individual instances, and also what we don't know, like, we know that more people have been suspended for violent behavior, but what we don't actually know is whether violent behavior has actually risen, or if it's more something to do with how we respond to what we perceive as violence, you know? And maybe, yeah, maybe that would be the thing to talk about. It's like, it's not about like young people being more violent, it's about, wow, you're like, people are getting suspended right away. And that is something I've seen people talk about. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how all of this kind of goes together. I mean, I'm sure there is a way to connect these two different topics, but I don't necessarily need to. This is just me stream of consciousnessing things, and I'm trying to embrace that, that is what I have to offer right now. Thank you for listening. And yeah, I thank you for listening. Thank you for, like, yeah, being part of whatever this is. I'm not gonna go. Okay, you know what? Before I go, let's just have a sip of water together. Okay. I'll wait for you to get your water or electrolytes or whatever. Like, just hydrate. Not coffee. Don't drink coffee. Do drink coffee if you like coffee, but like, right now, we're drinking water. Okay, everybody got their water? Amazing. See, this wasn't so hard. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I move my body. Yeah, move my body, move this energy. I love you. Bye.